Hello, welcome to the brand new Lower Leagues podcast. I'm Alan as usual, and this is episode 2, and I'm with Stephen and Daniel. I think I'll call you Daniel because your name is Daniel. It says Daniel there, but Dan McLaren is here. Stephen's here. How are you guys doing?
Bank holiday Monday, mate. It's cold.
It's cold. It is cold. Yeah, it is cold. Yeah. How's France, Steve? I know you're over in
Cold,
France.
still cold. Yeah, it's the same as. It's nice. It's nice. Very
He's
lovely.
scouting, isn't he?
But
He's
yeah,
scouting
out there.
there.
Got to look out for pre-season. Yeah, there's a couple of. I've been trying to explain to about 15 French people where Grendon is, but they're not getting it. So
Is it as bad as trying to explain to when I was younger, trying to explain to Americans where Farnborough was? And they also and
I
the only thing they say
I don't even know where Farnborough is. I'm not
the
American.
the only thing they can say to you is it near London? Is it London? No, it's not. No, unfortunately. But no,
To be fair, growing up, I always
look,
used to go, "Oh, where are you from?" Winslow.
but look, this is a special episode. Okay, we've alluded to this on social media what was going to happen. But this is our second episode. Our first episode is out there already on Spotify and on YouTube, which people are watching now. Not now, but when they do watch this. Thanks for watching. But look, we've been passed on a little bit of information about a certain club. They have one team in the Spartan League in Division 2, one team in the North Bucks Prem, I believe, is it?
Yeah.
We are, of course, talking about Old Bradwell United. Dan, why don't you go into what it is that we've been sort of sick that we've seen, we've been privy to see.
So I think first things first, just we're not accusing anyone of anything.
No.
I've looked at this as either this is fucking genius,
Yeah,
or it's stupidity. So I'm going to go with it's genius. But what we've been told is we had a team come forward who provided us 2 team sheets, one from a North Bucks Prem game and one from a South Mids Div 2 game. And it's key to say the North Bucks game kicks off at 2 p.m. The South Mids game kicks off at 3 p.m. And one team sent us team sheets and 3 players are on both team sheets.
Yeah.
Now, what looks weird at any time, when we posted that little thing last night, we had another team come forward and go, they did that to us as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why have you not spoken to the league? And they said, we have. And I briefly spoke to the league and they're correct in what they're saying. The North Bucks have said, our game kicks off first. So they haven't technically broken any rules in terms of the players playing in that game. Mm-hmm. They are 3 first teamers as they're eligible to do. It's the South Mids games you question because you go, one, and I don't honestly know the rule. Are players allowed to play in 2 different leagues on the same day? I don't know. As I said, could be fucking genius. And if it is, we'll learn that for next season. So, yeah, I suppose the question is, are players honestly playing in one game and then at 90 minutes jumping in the car, driving to another game to come on as a sub in the South Mids?
Yeah. I think as you said, Dan, that we're not personally accusing anyone at the club of any kind of
as I said, genius. Like that's what they're doing.
I think we're on the side of thinking that this is an absolute genius play because the two games start at different times. The question is, are they putting the numbers in correctly? Because we've seen the team sheets, we've seen the players that are on both team sheets, and the timing of their substitutions and what have you, and one even got booked at some point. I think the question is it a moral thing? Is it allowed? Can they do it? And also physically, is it physically possible? Was it physically possible to drive between these 2 games?
I don't know about you, mate. If I got in a car after even 70 minutes, drove somewhere, got out, I can't run. I'm done.
No, you need to be cut out. You need to be cut out, literally.
Stephen, what's your take on this? Because we talked about this quite a bit at length last night on the group chat. But what's your take on it all? I know you're aware.
I think like Dan said, for me, like if it's a legal thing and it's allowed, I mean, it doesn't do much for player welfare, for injuries and that sort of thing. Like, just imagine You just imagine if you sit down for like half an hour and then you get back out and you go for 20 minutes. Also, one thing I was kind of thinking about is what what happens if you get booked in 2 games on the same day? Because that's
Yeah,
where
Yeah.
again,
yeah, that's a good point.
can you play in 2 games in the same day? Because then, for example, if you get booked in one game, you get booked in the
Or
other game. Does that
look,
then go
what if?
towards your tally for that? Or
But also, what if one of those players got sent off in the North Bucks game because obviously it
yeah,
was the
so
earlier
Yeah.
game?
exactly
And
Can
just
that.
he
to
then
So
can he
clarify,
then go and
they
play?
haven't.
No,
No
no, they
one
haven't.
did
no,
No,
get
they
sent
but
off.
haven't.
one,
Yeah,
yeah,
no. But I just think for
They
anyone
haven't.
randomly listening in.
yeah. Go on,
But
Stephen.
if, for example, yeah, like, well, that is a good example actually. Like the bookings is the one thing that I was kind of thinking about. If someone got booked in one game, they got booked in the other one. But then what happens if they were to get sent off in the first one, and then it's all right, don't worry, I've been sent off after 10 minutes. I'm gonna go. I'm on the team sheet on the other side, and also
Yeah.
that would mean realistically that they are on the team sheet from the offset on the other team. Do you know what I mean? So this is something that would have to be pre-planned because you'd have to have the team sheet with with all 3 names on it on both clubs.
Yeah,
So they have
yeah.
to. This isn't exactly. This it's not like half time at the other game. Cool, come on lads, we need to get you down. We need a goal or something like that. Can you get a few of the first team over after they finish their game? I mean, if it's
Hmm.
legal, then like Dan said, it is genius, really. I mean, but then also in a way, is that fair? Like I know, obviously, Dan's got 2 teams, so maybe he has a different view on it to what I do, because I'm more biased to the fact that we have one team. So in
Hmm.
general, I have that because I haven't got that ability and I haven't got that option. For me,
Hmm.
that seems a bit unfair and a bit like if, for example, we're in a cup game, we're 1-0 up, and then 3 blokes rock up from the South Mids from their first team, get kit on, and then come on for the last 10 minutes. I think morally, if that's what's happening, in my opinion, morally that is wrong because
Hmm.
how is that fair at any level? And then, for example, if they've just got booked. They've come off. They're going, "All right, cool. We're going to go 20 minutes down the road. Come on." I just, yeah, it doesn't sit right with me. Obviously, like you said, we don't know if this is what's happened. It could just be a case of we know how brilliant the North Bucks League are with their accuracy on their team sheets and on full time. So really, it could be the league messing around and sort of not doing it properly and from there old Bradwell might have nothing to do nothing like mine because I don't rarely look at my own team sheets on full time when they
Hmm.
go on so yeah for that in
I
that
mean, you
case I think
start.
it's morally wrong in my opinion but that would be biased because I only have one team.
Yeah, let's be honest, Stephen. You've put people who scored in penalty shootouts down as goals. But anyway, one thing I would say, actually, I've just thought what would massively cause a headache, honestly, new rule of you got to play 50% of your games to be eligible. If you play 50% more games for the first team than your first team player and reserve team player, they're playing 2 on the same day. So they're equalising themselves constantly. So it should be you play for the first team, that's a first team game. But they're not. They're fucking equalising themselves along. So really, when it comes to a semi
But then
final, that's bollocks because then you could go, well, actually, you know what? He's played exactly 50% each or whatever. When
yeah
really he would have been
but then
far weighted the other side.
also that would take a lot of for example like obviously I know we often talk about your cheating and your lying last season with the cup semi-final but um, but I couldn't even
I think
say that with a
someone's a
straight
bit
face.
salty, Dan.
I am.
That's got a
But
clause.
anyway, we would have smashed you in the final if we played you. To be fair, I was on the phone to the league trying to get them to reinstate you.
Sorry, wake up now. Boring. Back to
It's age. That's
conversation hand.
age, isn't it? That's age. Isn't it? I've forgotten what I was going to
Steve,
say
are you
now.
still hung up on Dan's goalkeeper slash right back as well?
I don't want to talk about that. I've only just erased that from my mind. Emergency signings.
All right, we
Amazing.
ain't one since. Um,
But no,
so yeah,
again, like you said, sorry, my point was that obviously you guys in your semi-final, you even spoke to the league and said, "Can these guys play?" But then they must be doing a lot of work behind the scenes to know exactly who is allowed to play and eligible,
yeah,
Yeah.
because there must be such a grey area. Because I feel
yeah.
like,
I mean, to be honest with you, I think teams. I'm really anal with it. And that's why, like last year, I double and triple checked, and we were still told we couldn't do it. But there is, I mean, I've played teams in the past. I remember years ago in a cup semi final, we played Olney, I'd done the full thing afterwards, and they'd played 6 first teamers. Annoyingly, only on the day allowed us to do a match day signing. We realised it was after March. We weren't allowed to do it. So the league went, "You're both in the wrong, so only go through." So and only are really diligent with the way they do things, but they're cocked up as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, they got kicked out in the following round because they did the same thing again. So I'm not saying necessarily that Bradwell might have just thought, actually, we can use this 2-3 p.m. kickoff to our advantage here. Because let's be honest, South Mid's games, majority of them are Milton Keynes area. A lot of them are anyway. So maybe they've just gone, as you say, fucking genius. And if it does, I applaud them.
Yeah.
There is the moral side of it where I'd go as another club. I was about to say club owner. I don't own a club. Another club official somewhere else. And look, they're not in our league, but if we ever got promoted, I'll be going, I don't like the way they're really able to manipulate players playing on us. Because like this weekend, we had to give away a game this weekend because we didn't have enough players to field a reserve team. And I had to phone the league and go, really sorry. And like I said to you, Alan, we had ringers. We could have played. Had 2 very, very, very good players who could have played. But it's not the right thing to do. So
why don't you do an emergency signing for some goalkeeper, like 3 or 4 goalkeepers?
It would have been an emergency 2 signing, Stephen.
Yeah. Can we have 2 emergency goalkeepers for the reserves today?
So like we can't do that. But then, if we had a 2 or 3 o'clock kickoff, happy days. Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah.
All lads go there. When that game's at a point where we've either won or lost it after 70 minutes, send the lads down the road. Let them go play down there. It's just, it doesn't feel right to me to be able to do that.
Yeah, it does feel a bit morally wrong.
Yeah, I think morally it doesn't seem right. I don't think it sits right. It probably isn't sitting right with a lot of people, but I think it is sort of, like I say, it is sort of bordering on the lines of sort of genius. But it's important to say that if this had happened a couple of months earlier, then all the South Mids games would have been kicking off at 2:30. So it probably wouldn't have happened if it was a couple of months earlier.
And I think it's important
to go back.
It's a 2 o'clock and a 3 o'clock kickoff.
It's interesting to go back and see if they've done it.
Yeah, important to mention that this isn't technically, they're not breaking we're not breaking any rules.
No. Oh no, we've lost him. He's frozen. He's frozen, Stephen. Thank God.
Oh, thank God for that. I was just waiting. I was thinking. I was hoping that was going to happen. Like I didn't know. I was under the table praying, but now it's happened. Is that easy?
Well, wait till he comes back. But are there any rules that like in the that you know of, like in these leagues that stops things like this happening, or makes it look like that this shouldn't happen, or is it literally going to be down to the club and how they personally feel about their own personal morals?
Yeah, I think it's really down to the club at the end of the day, because the way I look at it is the league very rarely enforces the rules that we've actually got. So at the end of the day, if it's a bit too complicated and they can just be like, yeah, it's fine this time, don't do that again, they'd rather do that than they would actually enforce any type of rule. It would be interesting. I'll probably do some research in the week and I'd go through the rule book that's on the internet. It's from 1936, I think.
You're not far
the North Bucks rules from that. Yeah.
You're back then. You probably froze as you got so animated. You froze.
Yeah, and, I know, mate.
You missed us slagging you up as you were frozen.
That's all right. I think I ran out of 3 minutes on Zoom. I think that's what it happened. What it was. I can't remember where I was ranting to, but yeah. What I was going to say, what I was alluding to was, look, they're not technically breaking North Bucks rules. North Bucks can't do anything about it. If it is not right and they shouldn't be doing it, it's the South Mids who would have the issue, because you go, yeah, but.
So would it if that was the issue, then would it be then the South Mids game that would be potentially
an issue?
An issue, and that game would be
I would guess so.
The club that they played.
Yeah, because I guess so. North Bucks kicks off at 2 o'clock. As long as there is no more than 3 first teamers, and like to clarify, we've not done that much digging. We've just looked at the players' names on both team sheets, so we don't know if they're first teamers or they're what.
Yeah.
So they're not technically broken any rules that way. So North Bucks games, it is as it is. It's then So look, I suppose we can't keep rabbiting on about this. So I suppose it'd be a nice way to finish would be all 3 of us to give a genius, or
I think I'll give it.
I smell bullshit.
I think I'll
kick him out of the league.
It would be.
Sorry.
I think it would be for me. It's going to be sort of 80-20, 80% genius and 20% bullshit. But I think
Yeah, I mean, I'd say
I think if you're honest, Dan, if you had the ability, and we're not saying it's illegal. We're doing, as far as we're aware, they are within their rights to do it. Would you do it? I mean,
you'd
obviously, you can't do
absolutely
it
do it.
between your two
I'd
teams
say
because
for
your two
free
teams
that
kick
he'd
off at the same time.
absolutely
But if
do it.
you had a team,
Well,
if you had a first team in the South Mids and
They
a
never
second
will.
team in the
They're
North Bucks,
shit.
What this could cause is if I were to go, yep, it's all clean and clear, they're allowed to do it. What I think you could end up happening is you could get teams who have got two teams in the league in the North Bucks start to try and force through rules by all joining forces to start going, right, we want alternative kickoff times, we want
yeah,
this, we want that, we want three
yeah,
in the summer, we want two in the winter, and start to manipulate things like that, because then you could just go, oh, sod it,
yeah,
when that benefits us in the. So for me, it's something that should be addressed. It's the first time I've ever heard of it,
yeah.
if
No,
I'm clear,
exactly. Yeah,
if I'm plainly honest. So yeah, really interesting one. Because I didn't think of it, I would have said genius if I thought of it. Because I didn't think of it, I'm going to say, is there a level of bullshit to it? Do we really
yeah.
think players are getting in cars at
Well,
90 minutes
that's the biggest. That's one
fully
of the
kitted
biggest
to
issues.
drive down the road and
Yeah,
play? I don't know
yeah.
if they are.
That's the big issue in it. If they're getting their numbers right when it comes to
But
making the subs and stuff like that.
I'm double guessing now, because then I'm going, you know what? Are they that thick to
Yeah,
name players in both squads if they're playing ringers? I don't think they're that stupid. So
yeah, yeah.
it
No,
is genius.
surely you just name other players. Not that I've ever done it before. You name other players that, that
But
name
Cheeky
other.
But
fuck.
Dan's right. Dan's right. There is a, albeit, I think, albeit quite small, a level of stupid, a potential level of stupidity from the club by putting both of them teams out and then not talking to each other and say and they're both clubs sides
Yeah.
saying we've got a couple of ringers, let's put them down to this name, and it just so happens that the other team have done exactly the same thing.
Mm.
Also, playing at clubs that have had a South Mids first team and then a kind of lower reserve team, I know a lot of players. I don't think a lot of the first team will go, yeah, I'll go and play for the. You know what I mean? They make a massive song on the dance when they're in the reserves anyway. So unless
No,
these
yeah,
are players,
but it's only one level between the two
yeah. But then
teams.
even then, if you're a first team player, do you know what I mean? I think it's difficult because a lot of players they won't, even though it's only one level, they do have a certain feeling of being better or sort of that. I play for the first team, so a lot of players will just not want to drop down. So unless these players are die hard, fucking love the club, do you know what I mean? Like these, I don't think you'd get. I personally,
You say
if
that.
fair play, if it is happening, then great. But I don't think you
You
would.
say
I
that.
don't think.
If you're first team player or in the first team squad and your gaff says to you, look, mate, you're on my bench on Saturday. But I tell you what, go get 90 minutes with the Rezzies, and then come on and play the last 20 for me. I think in my younger days, I would
Yeah,
have probably gone, yeah, fucking hell, two, right? Two chances
yeah,
of scoring goals. But I think for me, it just does fiddle back to this. To me, that doesn't more that puts old Bradwell, at an advantage against other teams in the league. That they have
Yeah,
the ability to do that, and that
it's not
doesn't sit
fair, is
well
it?
with me.
Yeah, I
No.
don't find that fair personally. But again, I get that more because I've only got one club, one team, so I
Well,
always
mate,
find that
I've got
biased.
two teams. I can't do that. So I'm
Yeah,
yeah,
at and they're in a different league to us. But like, if one of us was get promoted, that's in the nicest way. When you're a team like if you're old Bradwell are up there in the Prem, if you're a team down the bottom, when you're playing against them, you don't want them to be able to have a load of fringe first team players able to just play and then bugger
rock
off
up.
at, like that. To me, that doesn't feel right that they can do it.
Also, I feel like
But
it kind of takes the
fair
mick out
play.
of the players that are starting for if you've got like reserve team players that are starting, I'll sit on the bench 45. This guy's going to play 45 minutes. And he's going to shoot off to the first team game. Do you know what I mean? It just makes no
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, bit odd. But
well,
Alan, I'll let you wrap up.
yeah. Well, look. So it's important to say again, like we said at the top of the show, that we're not accusing the club of any kind of foul play or malice or cheating or anything like that.
It's a good talking
And
point.
it's a really good talking point, and it's a really interesting subject, and as you can tell by anyone that's going to be listening to this and watching this, it has thrown up a really good conversation about it between two guys here that play and manage in the North Bucks. So
Also,
so we're not accusing the club of
I
doing
think
anything.
you would see the North Bucks start to feel a bit, oh God, if people were starting to ask, if people did start to ask questions, and has been happening, I do think it'd be a very difficult thing for the North Bucks to worm their way out of making a decision over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they'd have to. I think if this gets highlighted and they look into it, and this has been happening, I do think it's something that they have to action, because you can't just carry on with one team having a ridiculous advantage over the rest.
Yeah. And look, like we said, we're not accusing them of anything doing anything wrong or anything like that. It does look a bit suspicious, but we're sort of siding on the line of maybe potentially genius.
Look,
and also, of course, we welcome Old Bradwell to come back and have their say on this. We're not,
100%.
We're not saying that they can't say nothing, but if you're watching this, anyone at Old Bradwell, then you know what, send us a message at the lower leagues, and we'll talk about it. And maybe we'll get you on them, and you can talk about it. But
ultimately, if they're in the clear, they're using the rules to their advantage, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But as a team on the opposing side of it, I don't like it.
Fair play to them.
Yeah,
no,
Good
agree.
genius at the same time.
Yeah. Right. We'll bring this to a close.
Just upset it's not you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on for this quick special episode. Dan, Stephen, say good evening.
Oh, Alan, can we do a little? We're not going to say fully, but we've got an amazing guest for episode 3.
Sure, can we say it?
If he pulls out, then
exactly.
We'll look like
I don't want. Yeah, I was going to leave it until later on in the week before. But we've got
a guest who is potentially a better striker than I am.
I don't think there's any potentially about it, is there? Really? We'll leave it at 170 goals in 3 seasons.
Yeah,
that's cool. What I'll leave it at. Potentially next week, next episode 3 with this striker.
Dan McLaren. Dean Zanger reserves.
Yeah, Stephen, enjoy the rest of your holiday. Don't do it again during the season.
Yep. It's not good enough.
I'll see you guys later. All right, and with that, we will see everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is what we've got to say now, lads. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and follow the Spotify channel as well. At the Lower Leagues podcast. And
send us messages on what you actually want to hear about. Because I see us now as an opportunity to be if you don't want to out yourselves about something, like these 2 clubs of us, we'll do it. We'll be the ones that will out stuff.
Yeah, and we don't have to name you either.
We're doing it in an impartial way. We're not here to.
Also, I don't want to plug anything, but I have got some GRFC mugs and some Carroll mugs. If anyone wants to buy them.
And finish.
But end of season to pay for. Anyone who wants to buy it, I've got key rings.
Oh God, where's the mute button? Where's the mute button? Anyway, but like Dan said, if anyone out there has got anything they want us to talk about, then DM us, or us individual or the podcast, and we will do our best to get everything out. We're not just covering North Bucks; we're covering all non-league and lower league, as far as I can see, anyway. Right. So good night, lads. I will see you all very shortly, and we will see everybody on the next episode.
Take care.